Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the weekly stock market update video. So last week, told everyone that I was going to do these weekly updates again on the stock market. And so we'll be looking at QQQ, as well as Tesla, Meta, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia. So the Mag 7s and the stock market. So let's get into it. So last week, Friday, on the weekend, I was talking about, this potentially may mark the top of the market if we don't make a new high and confirm a daily downtrend. And last week we didn't have that much information yet because we closed over here on Friday, and we ended up did make a temporary top because of the clues that we saw in the Mag 7s, which we'll be going through right after this. So right now the question is, where is support? So after this initial drop, you see we bounced, and this was the lower high being set of the pivot, and we broke to a lower low, meaning breaking the prior low's pivot, which is that Thursday's low. That means now bears have confirmed a daily time frame downtrend, and they got pretty good follow through on Thursday and Friday. If you ask me, pretty much closed almost a lowest day, and currently closing pretty close to weekly support as well. So you guys can see on the weekly candle here, if we break, let me delete this, it's kind of hard to see. If we break this week's low right here from that 24th low at 473.82, 73.94. So yeah, break that low, pretty much 10 cent more. That's a weekly break for weekly support. You can see the top here, it shows you like the low of the candle. So this low is 473.94, and this low is 473.82. So we were so close at the end of the day, but I mean, bears were running it all day, so they probably got a little bit tired and they couldn't take it lower. So if we break that, that's a weekly support, and we'll probably get some weekly consolidation. And then on the key is now is on the next bounce. Okay, so on the next bounce, for example, if we get a weak bounce next week, here we bounce a little bit, and then it's pretty weak, and it forms a bear flag. Do something like this. We chop around, bounce here, and then when we pull back, we can't confirm a daily uptrend. We end up just chopping around and become a bear flag. Then there's a chance we may form that weekly downtrend. If that happens, then that's definitely a big shift in the market overall. We have not confirmed a weekly downtrend in a very, very long time. But we have confirmed daily downtrends, but not. Last time was over here. So at that big April drop with the daily downtrend confirming and follow through. So we'll see. If we get something like that, and then we bounce again, or something like a tiny range. But for now, we really need to see what that if that bounce is going to be weak or not. Next thing you know, we bounce and then we pull back. We can't make a new low. We form a daily uptrend, then back to the bull's favor. This was just a healthy pullback. Nothing red flags. We even held that weekly support. Then all good. No signs of red flags. But if we break through here, you can see there's a little bit of volume gap here, which is this gap, and we're probably coming down to closer to this 464 level. Be the next level support that we even have. All right, let's take a look at the mega cap techs and to see if we see any more red flags from them. Tesla, bear break, very clear. This is a 4-hour time frame. This was an equilibrium, tiny range. We talk about these all the time. Rejection, 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 rejection. Support, support, support. And then you can see it was super tight on Thursday and Wednesday, and then Friday is a bear break out of that. And you can see it broke that level support right there as well. That quadruple bottom around like 247. Once that broke, they tried to hold it in the pre-market right here, and they couldn't bounce, and then just kidding, and it broke. So not much to say other than if it breaks this this low, it'll probably follow through a little bit more, but earnings is on Tuesday. So, it's anyone's guess which way earnings is going to go. But on Friday, this was a bear break out of this equilibrium. So it was a clear drop with the market as well together. And yeah, earnings can go both ways, 8-10%. So, your technical analysis is not going to really do much with earnings. It's a coin flip. So just be sure you guys have it plan ready. It's on Tuesday after hours. And yeah, this is pretty much the support. And bulls need to definitely break above this prior resistance over here to more upside. All right, let's look at Meta. So Meta, when we talked about it on Friday here, I said it was a red flag because of the pop above, consolidate, and then came below. Pretty much a U-turn. And so it was break above resistance here, right? And then I said, just kidding. So I said we're probably going to come down to test this support first, which we did. And then we didn't hold it either. So now we got a slight back test of it, bounced up and then reject. So that's a sign of probably more downside, but we are currently, what do you even say? We're not even that oversold. So yeah, we can have more downside if the market wants to. And ideally it wants to hold above this structure. So we want to see pretty much it hold right here above 476, which is the same thing as this structure. And to bounce back above to form potentially something over I don't even call this a tiny range. Yeah, because we broke above. Yeah, to form some of our sideways support continuing. If we break below this structure, then we're looking back at this low, which is this low is pretty much this low and this low, right? So if they break below the structure, there's really not that much you can see underneath here. It's pretty much a space of no volume other than this little tinky volume. So if it comes down, it'll be easy for the bears to take it to gap fill. And if they can't, then obviously bears aren't doing much if they can't gap fill it. So yeah, so super key at that level, this 460 level where it bounced from. And Amazon. So Amazon, same thing. We were talking about rising wedge. Rejection, rejection, rejection. And then we're pretty much at the top. And last Friday it was over here. And this was similar where it's like, we bounced. And then we just kind of consolidate sideways. And then we get a liquidation break. And then so we're talking about if we form a downtrend, daily downtrend from there, then it'll probably likely speed up and come down to test at least the bottom of this range first. And it looks like we broke through that as well. So that's what you can see most of the mega cap tech I was talking about was having red flags. But so far we've held this level, which was pretty much the top of this level, this resistance. The prior resistance acted support over here. Now it's acting support. So the question again, same thing. Is this going to be a weak bounce, form as a bear flag, and then we head lower? Or is this going to be a bounce big enough where we can form a daily uptrend back to the bulls? But currently isn't a daily downtrend. Google, same idea. That's why we have so many red flags from last week. Another rising wedge, right? We use this as like longer term visual guides. We don't trade off of them. But on Friday, even on Thursday, it's already rejected, right? It came up, nice break. Tried it one time, 2, 3, 4. Couldn't get over. Thursday is already dropped. And then, let's see. Yeah. And I was talking about, okay, so if Google bounces from here and then can't get higher, and then we bear break out of this, it would likely get some follow through towards this side. You can see where it bounced off of this first support on Thursday. Very clear sideways action here. So there's a lot of volume traded here. That means there's a lot of support here as well because price is above it. And we did bounce off of there. And Friday, try to hold it again. So you can see Q's made a new low and Google did not. So that's relative strength from Google because it hit a key level support. So let's see if Google can bounce from here on Monday. Microsoft, same idea with Meta, break above, zero follow through, came back below. So that was the red flag too last week I talked about. You can see all the way back here, bounce, bounce, bounce. Finally broke above here. Let me zoom in 1 sec. So finally broke above right here. Right, and tried back test, acted as support, bounced, and then said just kidding, and came back below it. So that's a red flag. I remember talking about this on Friday too, saying, okay, so now if we break above, there's no follow through, right? Obviously, we're going to come back down to potentially the lowest end of that range to test if there's any liquidity there. So we did get pretty close. We came down to pretty much this prior resistance, prior high, now acting as support here. So if you get a weak bounce, bear flag again, right, we'll likely coming down to test this bottom of this support, rising wedge support. So that'll be pretty key as well for bulls. See if they can do it. And Apple is the best chart out of all 7 looking so far. You know, it was holding really well last week. There's no red flags at all. But with the whole market dragging everybody down, Apple had its days as well, and currently is not in a daily downtrend, but it's broke its daily pivot. So now it's back in a daily neutral trend. So just one move down. And let's see if it's a weak bounce and then we get a lower low, and that's a daily downtrend confirmed. But currently it's just a neutral trend because it just broke its uptrend. Hasn't formed a downtrend yet. And if we do look at, let's see the 2-day chart here. Yeah, 2-day hasn't even touched the EMA 12 yet on a 2-day. So 2-day usually acts as support on the teal looking line for the EMAs. And currently we're not even there yet. So let's see if probably get some support over here on 221. Just this prior rising wedge resistance. We'll see if it acts as support or it's going to break through it like all the other mega cap where they break above and then break through it below. That'll be a better red flag. If Apple breaks below that, it'll probably drag the Qs down a lot more as well. So, but if it bounces, then no red flags for Apple. Currently the strongest of them. Nvidia. So Nvidia here, it's a little bit tricky, but so this is a big enough drop, right? And then we're talking about if it can confirm a daily downtrend or not. So it didn't, and then we bounced. So that's a good sign. And then it kind of went below again. So now we're testing this exact same support. You can see we slightly cracked through it, right, on Wednesday and Thursday, but with no follow through. So essentially, I don't count that as a break. Barely even broke probably like, let's see what, 118.04 and 116.72, 116.5. So yeah, it's like a $1.50 break for a $120 stock. So a little peak below, and then bears can really take it any lower, which is this current support right here, right? The sideways action is holding right here. So, I mean, it's pretty strong if you ask me. If you're able to hold this structure, then there's no signs of red flags yet for Nvidia, at least on the weekly time frame. For a longer time frame, right? Because there's even a volume gap here where when bears break it, it should be easier for them to at least come down to this 114, which is this structure right here. But they didn't. So that got me thinking, okay, are they going to bounce from this weekly support? Because if there's going to be no follow through on the weekly downtrend, then the next most likely scenario is going to be up. You can see this is a weekly right chart where it's a big drop, bounce, weekly lower high being set, and then you made a lower, tiny bit lower low right there, and didn't no follow through. So, and 3-day, it was a 3-day test too, right? So it's not like we hit it for one day. So if it breaks on Monday, that's a big red flag for the semiconductor sector, and that'll likely drag the Qs down. So we'll make sure to keep watch on Nvidia. If it breaks its weekly support, that's a weekly downtrend confirmed since anybody can remember. I don't even remember when the last weekly downtrend is. None here. This is not even a weekly downtrend. It's just a weekly drop. Actually, if you count this, bounce, lower high right there, pivot set right here on that week of April right here. That's when we broke that weekly downtrend. We got some more follow through. So yeah, so that's a 10% follow through after the weekly downtrend confirmed. So if we get that weekly downtrend confirmed, I'm looking closer to, yeah, pretty much this 12%, this megaphone looking support, because there isn't that much support along the way. You can see, right? It just straight up move. So I wouldn't be surprised if it drops to that even down here to like 103 or 106 zone. That would direct the market down a little bit more. So we'll see if we get weak bounces on Monday and Tuesday, and then get more bear follow through the following week. Then that's potential likely scenario. All right, that's got it for you guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, as well as support the channel and the Patreon link. And I will do the commodities update tomorrow. So be sure to look out for that. Have a great rest of you guys' weekend.